And welcome to the commentary on Plastic Winchesters, episode 14. Again, we open with rock music playing on my little mini Impala. You'll actually notice that opening shot, I only have about 5 or 6 opening shots, and there's, 19 episodes, so I do reuse those shots a lot, and I don't think anyone's ever pointed that out. So maybe next time look and be like, wow, she should take a new shot of that car. So maybe I should do that this weekend and get something new for episode 20. Right here we have Sam and Jean in the car. They're going to California. We opened up with a kind of a funny little bit where Sam kept talking about all the places he'd been, and Dean saying, wait a minute, we're not even in Palo Alto, which is where Stanford is, so Sam would have no reason to go there. So we're just, again, more silliness. And here's Dean trying to pull a Sam, and Sam kind of calls it on him and says, it's not as funny when you do it. And that's actually kind of a reoccurring thing. Dean tries to, be funny in the way Sam is funny a couple of times in upcoming episodes, and he never quite pulls it off as well as Plastic Sam does. So Dean needs to stick to his own kind of humor. Here we have the hotel room. You will notice a lot of nautical things in here. My email is actually Lighthouse Girl, so this is basically everything that I have. Not even everything. This is just stuff that I pulled from my apartment and threw into this set. You'll notice the table that Sam just set stuff down on. That's actually a jewelry box that I have. Behind him right there, you'll see a... that's not a good picture of it. It's not... Well, actually, you can notice the tissue box right there that's on the table, which, as I think Lady Mango pointed out to me, is in every single episode. So now I kind of consciously make a, I try to put it in every episode just because it's kind of like a running silly joke. The ship in the bottle is actually a Christmas ornament. It used to have a string on. I just cut the string off and put it on that little candlestick, and boom, we have a ship in a bottle on a pedestal. The cemetery. I do love my cemetery sets. This one, actually, I had people write in and give me suggestions for what to put on the different tombstones. So I used a lot of their suggestions for this. The WB one is by far and away my favorite. The Mary Sue one I think is just pretty. I put little twirls on it and whatever. And here's our introduction to Buffy. I had a big thing about the fact that I couldn't find, a Sarah Michelle Gellar or a Buffy action figure until my sister Reese pointed out to me, well, you don't use the real supernatural action figures, so who's going to complain if you use just a regular old Barbie as Buffy? And I was like, oh, well, that's totally a point. Okay then. So basically, this was just a blonde Barbie I found at Goodwill. She came in that jacket, that purple jacket, which I felt to me like something Buffy would wear. So I thought, we had a white tank top and some capris and some crazy shoes, and boom, we got Buffy. So here we go. And, of course, her giant silver cross necklace, again, that's mine, but, it fit her character and, being a vampire slayer. I think I cut her hair, now that I'm looking at that. I think her hair was a lot longer than that, but I actually cut it. And you'll notice Sam's, that's a lantern Sam is holding. A lot of people were like, what is that pink thing in Sam's hand? It's a lantern. I added the lens flare in Photoshop, and kind of made it look a little bit more realistic, because without the lens flare, it looks even worse. So I thought if you could see light coming out of it, you would at least realize that it was supposed to be, a lantern. This right here is actually a mistake. A slayer is someone who is really emo all the time because they have such a huge burden, blah, blah, blah. There was actually supposed to be more. Instead of just me saying blah, 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 I wanted to rewrite that whole thing. I ran out of time and forgot to change the panel. So the blah, blah, blah just stayed in there. And it ended up being funny and kind of, silly. So, I just left it and I never actually went back and changed it. I think one of the betas actually caught it and was like, that's really funny. And I thought, oh, wait a minute, what are you reading? That shouldn't be what you're reading. So it ended up being okay, so it's all right. Buffy and Sam being instantly kind of attracted to each other was something that was in my original outline. And I thought was going to be kind of a funny little bit, because they both kind of have a lot in common. They're both kind of not whiny, but they both kind of feel the burden of, their gifts and whatnot. So I thought it would be cute that they would bond right away, and Dean would kind of be irritated by the fact that, they were bonding and he was not necessarily a part of that. Let's see what else we got here going on here. Actually, I can tell you a little bit how this episode even came about. Was Lady Mango sent me a box full of California Barbies, which you will see in the vampire scene on the beach coming up. And from that, I thought, well, we're going to California. I have these beach Barbies, what should we do with that? And I thought, well, of course, we should have a vampire episode and bring Buffy into it. So, thanks to her, that's kind of how this whole episode came about. Let's see, we're back in everyone's favorite portion of the episode where Sam and Dean talk about their feelings. And, I don't know, on the show it never happens, they don't talk about their feelings, so I guess that's why it cracks me up when I make them do it here. And they're always they just spell it out for you. The only person allowed to save me is you. I mean, Sam just lays it out there right for him. And Sam's hair is really odd in this scene, now that I'm looking at it. It's not as crazy as usual. And for some reason, it looks a little bit weird to me. But I'm sure it's okay. That's a good shot. Got a little Sammy tummy showing. And again, Sam is so flexible. He's my favorite thing ever. Just because he is so flexible, I can make him do just about anything. And of course, wishing for buckets of chicken and pony rides, don't we all? We're going to be breaking this into 2 parts this time, so stay tuned for part 2, and I'll see you on the other side.